there, I'm Chef Ani, and today we are making something that I just could not be more excited about because we're baking. We are baking the most gorgeous, simple, quick and easy bread ever. It is one of those staple recipes that I just could not keep to myself. I had to share it with you. So that's why today we are making this gorgeous bread. A lot of breads out there, bread recipes that I've tried, take an enormous amount of time, and you almost have to have a complete degree to be able to make them. But not this one, my friends. We can make this super simple, and I love it because it's one of those brainless recipes that you can just enjoy, have fun. You can get your kids in the kitchen and just have a boatload of fun. So enough talking, let's get cooking. Alright, so we're going to get started by mixing together some flours. Now, I like to use whole wheat flour that I ground myself, but if you don't grind your own flour, that's okay. You can use flour that you buy in the store. Just make sure it's not stale or your bread will taste stale.
Profound.
I know. The next thing we're going to add is some sprouted spelt flour. Now, I love sprouted spelt flour, especially 1 Degree is my favorite brand, and it adds such beautiful qualities to bread. Plus, sprouted spelt flour is very good for us, so we need that nutrition in our lives, you know? Next, we're going to add a little all-purpose flour in there as well. A little vital wheat gluten going in here. This is going to help our bread become a better consistency. I have a little salt here, which I'm putting in one corner of the bowl. And I have my yeast, which I'm going to put in the opposite corner of the bowl because they don't like each other very much. So if you put them on top of each other, your yeast may react a little bit and it's not gonna be as good. So just make sure that they have their space and everything will be fine. Now that we've mixed our dry ingredients, we're going to work on our wet. I have some warm water, which is very important that your water is warm because that is going to make the yeast activate because it really likes warmth. And the other thing it likes is sweetener, and that's why I'm adding some molasses in here. Now, I love molasses in my bread. I think it gives a really nice rich flavor to it, but if you don't want to use molasses, you could use agave nectar, maple syrup, or some other type of sweetener that you like. I would recommend some really sticky, dangerously sticky molasses. And we're going to throw in some coconut oil as well. You could use any kind of oil that you like, though. I just like coconut oil, and coconut oil is also very good for us, so that's why I use it. Remember how I was saying that this is a really simple recipe, so even though the coconut oil is still a little clumpy in there, it's gonna be fine because it's gonna work its way out. So we're going to mix our wet and our dry ingredients together. The end of my spoon to just start because it becomes really messy at this point, and this is much easier to clean than this side would be. So I'm just gonna mix this together like that. And then once you're having trouble, you get in there with your clean hands. Clean hands, because this is going to come together and be gorgeous. Now I have cleaned my counter and I'm just going to plop it out here, and we're going to work it into a nice dough by kneading it a little bit. Now it is important that you knead your dough. That's really important because it creates see how it's kind of scratchy. I made up a new word. Shaggy. That's a good word. Very nice, Mom. Shaggy. See how it like breaks apart? The gluten is not developed in this bread. So what we're doing is when we knead it, we're developing the gluten in the bread. You don't want to pack in a lot of flour all at once because you will get a really tough dough. So you want a little bit of stickiness, not enough that it's like, you know, not coming together, but a little bit of tacky feel to it is a good thing. Press with the palm of my hand, flip it over itself, turn, and do the same thing over again and over again. And that just, to me, works really well. But if you have your own way of kneading it, then go right ahead and do that. I love doing this because it's a little bit of a workout for me. But, well, I'm talking at 1,000 miles an hour, Missy. She's over there mocking my out of shapeness. Yes, I'm a little out of shape, but I'm also talking. You try to talk at this speed and knead dough at the same time. It takes talent. Yeah. Now you can knead it by hand, you can knead it by machine, but I find that kneading it by hand is really therapeutic. I like doing it this way. You should knead this about 10 minutes. We're just developing the gluten in this. This is really important. Don't skimp on the kneading. So this has been kneading for a while now, and look at it now. It's beautiful, it's soft, and look at what I was talking about the elasticity of this now. It is like nice and holding together because we've developed the gluten strands. The beauty of this bread is that it actually rises in the pan. So instead of having it in a bowl and then having to then rise it in the bowl and then you rise it in the pan. Much easier. So today I'm using a cast iron pan. I really love using cast iron because I like it. It creates a beautiful crust on the bread. It's gorgeous. But if you don't have one of these cast iron pans, just use whatever pan you have. Shape this dough so you see I've tucked it in all around like this. Drop it into our lightly greased pan. So I'm just going to cover this with a towel now. We're going to let this rise until it's well above the edge of the pan. Okay, so this has been rising for a little bit, and let's take a peek. Isn't that gorgeous bread? Now all we have left to do is to pop it in the oven to bake. So the trick to tell if this is done, we're going to just pop it out here. And then you want to flip it over. It should sound hollow when you tap on it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to join me in this adventure to eat healthier, one recipe at a time. And I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday with another video.